Good morning, Max. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Julien, what's the story in Paris? How are things? How are you? How are you feeling?
Well, for today, I must admit, for today, I had to scratch my head a little. Because when we were about to jump on the call, I just did not have a story. And I was about to dig into, I have in my backlog a story that's by now must be 1 or 1.5 years old that I still haven't used, but it's in my backlog. So I was about to dig this one out, and then I thought, actually, something happened to you yesterday. Why don't you bring that up? Because it was not such a terrible story. Now thinking about it, that's a bad story, but I guess I just got used to bad stories, and it doesn't feel that bad anymore. So I got something.
That speaks volumes, very sadly, doesn't it?
Well, it does. I don't know what episode this is, probably 80-something, because as we're recording, I'm not keeping count, but 80-something for sure. And we still have content, right? So I don't know what that means about the whole industry.
Yeah. Means we've got room for improvement.
All right, let me hop on the couch and go ahead with that story. So,
all right, I'm ready. I'm listening. Let me know.
Here is the thing. Every now and then, I think I've kind of said this in the past at some point. Every now and then, probably once or twice a year, I just do a quick round of my insurances, because in France, I don't know how it is in the US, but you got plenty of insurances for everything. Some of them are mandatory, some of them are just good to have, but I got a bunch of them. And every now and then, I just do a quick check to see, is what I'm paying the right price, or is there something better, covering you better for cheaper price elsewhere, right? Because loyalty only goes that far. But frankly speaking, most of the time when I have a claim to an agency, they find a loophole and explain why I'm not going to be covered anyway. So I'm not incredibly loyal to most insurances. So that's the beginning of the story. I was checking online and then just, browsing, which is something I do every now and then. And most of the time, I'm not going to move because I'm going to save 10 euros here, 15 euros there. Is it worth the trouble? Probably not. You know what you have. You never know what you're going to get. So I was doing that. And then while doing that, I realized I don't really even know what I'm insured for because I go check my current contract and they have like a simplified table of the main stuff you're insured for. And for one of them, which was the one I was interested in, there was an asterisk saying, see detailed conditions. So I try to find what the heck is detailed condition. I find my contract is 20 pages long. I don't see anything literally called detailed conditions. I don't find info. That I'm getting a bit frustrated at this point. I said, okay, look, don't waste an hour for that. It's not worth it. Just call them up, figure it out so that I realize whether I'm covered, in which case, beautiful days, or I'm not, and maybe I can, add some dollars to get that coverage, or maybe there's another company that will do it for the same or even cheaper. At that point, I'm not really, adamant about changing company. I'm just browsing around. So I call them up. I call their hotline, and they have one hotline that's dedicated to you have a problem, make a claim, and you have one hotline that's more about information and probably sales service, even though they don't call it that. So I called a claim because that's the obvious one on the website, not because I have a claim. Hold the line for not too long, a couple of minutes probably. Get someone on the phone. That person cuts me in the middle of a sentence and say, oh, okay, I know where you're going. That's not a claim. That's not the right hotline. So do you have anything to write? I'm going to give you the number of the hotline you need to call. All right. So I say, could you
strike one?
The very least transfer me? We can't do that, different services or whatever she was saying. I didn't pay so much attention at this point. So, okay, I don't have a pen, so I just memorized the whole thing. Thank you. Have a nice day. Hang up. Type it as quick as I can before I forget one digit. And then I call, and now I'm on the sales stuff, information stuff. I hold for another 2-3 minutes, not that long, pretty easy. And then I explain the thing. That person is about to cut me, so I just go through it. Don't interrupt me. Let me finish what I have to say because I've been interrupted before. This is what I want. This is what I need. Are you able to answer my question? Oh, sir, I'm sorry, but I deal with prospect. You're a customer. You got to call the claim hotline.
Oh my God.
Could I just give you the number? And I said, well, I called the claim hotline. Yeah, but you're probably not the right number, or you basically, she didn't say, you did not explain it well, but that was really the underlying message behind.
So she sent you back to the same place?
So there was a different number, but as soon as you are on the IVR, you realize that's actually the same thing. And then at that point, I'm on the same hotline. I'm very annoyed, but I think, okay, probably it's just that I really have to go through the real process instead of saying talk to an agent, going through the IVR until you find, everyone does this, right? 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, until you get the option talk to a human being. I didn't do that. I follow the process of what type of contract you got, what kind of problem you have. I go through that. And then the last option on the IVR is, the claim you have, is it immediate danger or is it not immediate danger? And I'm just like, I don't have a claim. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. So I just hang up. I give up with the IVR. The system is flawed. They can't answer my question. I'm frustrated. That's fine. All right. You know what? I should have started with digital. I'm a digital person. Why do I even bother picking up the phone? So I go on their website. There is a live chat with an icon popping up saying, hey, have a chat with us. Beautiful. You're inviting me. Let me have a chat. So I go on the live chat. I type my long message and I click send. And what happens is all of our agents are currently unavailable. Please hold. Someone is going to be with you shortly. My entire message disappeared. It's not like it got posted and then I got the message. It's my message never got posted, get wiped out entirely, and I get that message of holding. And I stay on the line. I'm doing something else in the same time, and I keep sending messages every other minute or two. And every time I get the same, someone is going to be with you. I waited for over 30 minutes and I gave it up. Now, sorry, just detail question. No, like your X number in the queue, no,
your wait's going to be about, just
that.
You're waiting. Ugh.
None of that. Yes, exactly. And not even, leave us your email, we'll get back to you, or give us your phone number, we'll give you a call, or nothing. Literally nothing. So at that point, I have been spending the past 30 minutes waiting, but I'm not just waiting, doing nothing. I've been browsing other websites. I found another website with another insurance, never heard of them, probably one of those new digital stuff. No idea whether it's good or it's bad, but it's half the price and it's got better coverage than the one I have for sure. And this thing that I don't know whether my insurance has it or not, this one has it for sure and is clearly stated on the website.
What it is.
So now I go back to my original insurance. And then I go on their website. I don't know how it works in the US, but to switch from one insurance to the other, you need to ask for an official report from your current one because they need to have like official data so that you cannot make random claim. Yeah, never had a problem, never did anything wrong in my life. You download that, you provide it to the new one, and you switch, right? So I go on the website, and then I make a request. As soon as I make a request, let's have a chat with one of our agents before we do any of that. Click on this number, call us up. I call the number, no IVR, get someone immediately on the phone. Hey, sir, so I understand you like that. Is it you're planning on moving to a different insurance? Did you find something cheaper? How could I help you today? I'm sure we can figure something out. And then I said, well, if you had been able to figure something out an hour ago when I started trying to engage with your brand, sure, I needed your help at the time. Now I don't need your help anymore. I found something cheaper, better coverage, and that does actually answer customers' inquiries. So just provide me with a document. I don't think there is anything else to say. There was a good 10, 15 seconds blank, and yes, sir, can I just verify your email? I'm going to send it to you right away, and end of story. 30 minutes later, I had switched to a new insurance provider. So what do you say of that?
Wow. Oh my gosh. What an epic fail. This is just, my goodness, I don't even know where to begin. So you never even found out if, for all you know, the coverage you had may be better, but you just could never get to that information and you could never get help to figure out what it was.
Well, I'm guessing it would have been as good. I doubt it could have been better. Well, maybe actually you could be right. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So it wasn't it wasn't even, I mean, they lost a customer, and it wasn't, it was all because of horrible service and poor communication. Poor communication, they didn't upfront, they made it impossible to understand what your coverage was without getting help. And then horrible support because you couldn't get help. Getting ping pong back and forth, getting chat that I don't know what to say other than this was a complete, absolute meltdown, and they deserve to lose you as a customer.
Well, when I was telling you the story, I was trying to unpack some of this in my head, and something we've touched in the past, no idea which story that was, but we've definitely touched that in the past, is it's a bad approach as a company to treat your prospects and your customers differently, especially if you treat your prospects better than your customers. Here, it's similar to that because there is some of that, but it's probably better to invest in treating your customers well instead of trying to catch them as they leave. Because chances are, if they're on the verge of leaving, they've made up their mind. It's very difficult to keep someone who's already made the decision. Probably better to make sure they're happy in the first place.
Well, and, I as you were telling the story, the fact that it took you doing the thing that flags you're leaving to get a decent service experience, I mean, that's just insulting. I felt your anger and your pain just from that. That's such, and it sounds like this guy even knew it. It's like, I'm sure you were reasonable and polite, but probably very slightly under the covers. You could hear that you were steaming and ready to strangle the guy. And it was just like, he could tell within seconds that you were a lost customer. And, my goodness, I couldn't agree with that more. The other thing that just drives me nuts about this story is what a basic piece of information to get. What is my coverage? What does it cover? I mean, seriously, that's hard to understand. That's not okay. Well, they kind of deserve to lose you across the board.
To be quite honest, I believe that's an industry problem. I mean, when I try to think about this in a very objective way, how many insurances out there do a very good job at clarifying very quickly what is covered, what is not? You will have the big categories. Most of them nowadays do it right. You have a simplified table telling you this is covered up to X amount of dollars, and there may be something left over for you to pay. Most of them do this right. Where it becomes complex is, I think no industry in the world uses more asterisks than the insurance industry.
Yes.
Because everything has additional conditions, and it's always written in a language that, gosh, how do you need to be a lawyer to understand any of that? That's not customer centric. That is meant for you to not understand any of that, so that you don't question it. And it's the same thing as accepting or rejecting cookies, where you got all this text to read. No one reads it. All the terms and conditions you accept. No one reads it.
I've given up. I just accept cookies because it's too complicated. And even when they give me a list of, do you want this kind or that kind? It's like, no, I want to go to your website and get some information.
Exactly.
That's what I want to do.
Don't ask me what I want. I want the website. Couldn't agree more. But and that's the whole thing. And here, what I wanted was not something. It's not like the absolute exception that would happen once in a million years. That was a fair question. And by the way, before even checking my coverage, I thought that might be something standard enough that I don't even need to check my coverage. I'm going to check on forums and website whether, that's something they generally speaking cover. And they even had an article telling you why other insurances may not cover you well on this, but still not providing any information about what they did. I found this incredibly frustrating. I think that the lack of transparency, and that's probably by design. I'm thinking that's probably not a mistake. I think that's probably by design. Keep people in the dark so that they don't really know what they're paying for.
And then it sounds like at the end of this trail, you found somebody not only who made it clear what they covered and it was the coverage you want, but it was a lot cheaper. So you're ending up in a better position. Or was it pretty much the same. It was just at least
Much
you knew
better
what the coverage was.
Well, it's very hard to say much better coverage because
You don't
there
know
was
what your coverage was.
something. Yeah, well, there is that, but also there was something that I was clearly missing from my original insurance. That this one they offered, I was not even seeking that because I thought that's too expensive. Actually, they offer it. Fantastic. That's additional coverage. That's literally half the price per year of what I was currently paying. But what I'm saying is, I don't know if it's better coverage because until you have to claim anything, you never know whether you're covered well or not because there is always that asterisk again. I thought I was covered, but did you know that if it happened between 3 and 4 p.m. on a Sunday, you would not be covered? Yeah, you check your contract. That's always that way. So,
it's as you're talking about this, there's a whole different angle that's striking me here, making me think about myself a little bit. You're smart enough to periodically go out and look at your insurance to see if you can save hundreds of dollars a year. I don't do that. And as we've been talking, I've been kind of thinking about that in the background a little bit. And I think I'm going to go ahead and name. I have State Farm, and I have Mimi Lamb, who's my agent. And, we do talk to her periodically and make sure the coverages make sense. And sometimes we drop something over here, raise something over there. And, she's always really good to say, oh, you should do more of this and more of this. And, but we temper that. But just, I think, I think the thing is, by having an agent, by having a contact point, we've been there a long time. We've done multiple claims. Not always the most wonderful experience, but never a bad experience. That has locked me out of doing the sort of shopping you're doing because I have that relationship and because I know I'm getting checked periodically. I'm kind of like, like you said, I'm not going to change for 10, 20 bucks a month or a year or whatever. But then I'm just assuming that I'm not going to find something like that. And I really probably shouldn't. I probably, there could be a big savings there, but, they've locked me in through that relationship.
Well, look, they've locked you in because there's a relationship, certainly, but they locked you in because you don't feel the price is insanely high. Now, the fact that you don't compare means you're probably overpaying, but you feel comfortable with it, which is good enough, in my opinion. But the most important is you never had a big problem, meaning when you make a claim, could be painful, but at least it somehow goes through. To me, the biggest issue you can have with an insurance before pricing or anything else is not being able to get the information you need, whether it's a claim or whether it's basic information about your coverage. Yeah. If you don't get that, especially if it's simple information, if I can get that, what's going to happen the day I have a real accident and I really need urgent help? Are they going to tell me to take a pen and write a different number? Hell to that. You got to help me. That's the only reason why I'm paying you. Anyway, don't want to rant on this, but I think there's major experience issue here.
Wow. Yeah. Sounds like they deserve to lose you.
And they did. Well, I can tell you that they're not going to get bankrupt because of that. I'm pretty sure they have a few other customers anyway, so they'll be fine.
But yeah, well, who knows? Maybe there's other Julians out there who won't put up with that. No.
Oh, I really hope not. But I do feel much better though. So thank you, Max, for taking the time to walk through that with me.
Well, thank you for sharing that. That was a rough story. I'm surprised the second that happened, you weren't getting off the phone going, oh my gosh, I got to get on the couch for this one. But I'm glad it occurred to you. I'm sure I hope you feel better. That was certainly a story that deserves some therapy.
I do, but I guess I'm really getting used to this kind of stuff. It's no longer as frustrating as it used to be. That's just the new normal, as sad as it is. But yeah, truthfully, I do feel better. So thank you so much for that. And I can promise you that next week is definitely for you to hop on the couch and tell me your story.
All right. That sounds great. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Max. Have a beautiful week. Thanks. Bye.
You too. Take care. Bye.